Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Open Front IO. This is Enzo and today we are playing a game against Static Daddy's stream. If you don't know, Static Daddy is a Czech YouTuber and streamer. He's got about 400k subscribers on YouTube and we're going to try to infestation max him. Just so you know, I'm commentating this game afterwards. I woke up this morning and thought, you know what? Maybe I can give it a go and try to beat these guys again. This is about 150 plus players. I've already done this with 300 plus players. So in this vid, I'm going to walk you through my thought process, maybe give you some analysis on kind of like some of the good plays I make, some of the bad plays I make, and we'll see if this works. I'll also share some of my thoughts on version 25 and how trains work, because I know most people are interested in that, and that was actually part of my strategy. But in any case, I'm up here in Greenland. Main idea with going for Greenland, there's some data if you look at winning spawns that Greenland's pretty good, and I thought, you know what, I bet other people won't value this. In doing some stuff with alliance management, I thought, you know what, I can get a little bit of an advantage. I've already done infestation maxing from this position before, and maybe I can get away with it. So I ally the Sturblitz guy, and I hope to God that's not a terrible name, because the last time I played this, there's some names that were making a lot of Czech people laugh. So I'm not pushing Greenland bot right here just because I'm hoping someone else ticks it off. Some people have actually asked in some of my videos about like, why aren't you responding to nations pushing you? I kind of just want other people to take the hit from them, because if you push a nation, it will never leave you alone. So instead, doing this nice type of micro-annexation on snow, that's increasing my efficiency. It looks like Blitz there, they decided to betray, maybe give me a chance. I'm allying Andy because the main thing I don't want is I just don't want early game fights. I don't want to have to deal with too much crap. Even with my infestation maxing plan, I can live with some people getting a little bit of trade. On this balance, infestation maxing is going to be a lot tougher, mainly because of the factories, but I'm also thinking what I do might work because people might overvalue factories. We'll talk at some point of this vid about kind of like factories use and stuff. So going for snow, that's a just makes sense call. He's kind of panicking. He doesn't have much to do. He just has less troops. That's kind of it. And I get a lot of basically infrastructure out of that. It's actually really kind of interesting, I was going to say notable, that Snow got that much gold. I don't know how he got that much. Like, maybe he got a bunch of bots. Still sitting on Greenland, decided to go for Ross Kroc first just because they have a bit less troops, and I don't know. I don't know all of my logic there. And yeah, so the thing with factories, I'd say I can put up the info on the screen. I think most people probably have seen this. Basically, they send out trains every so often. If you're basically doing internal trade, a train will go to one of your cities or one of your ports, and you'll get 10k. If you're trading with a neighbor who you're not allied to, it's 25k. With a neighbor, it's 50k. So here, I was going to invade that one guy, but I just decided, you know what, I'm going to go for Greenland. That's why I canceled the boat, go back. Unfortunately, I think I ate a pretty big hit right there. But at this point, I've got enough troops that I should just be totally set to take this out. You can also see I got up my first warship. During this whole start, you're probably noticing all the trade. And I was thinking like, oh my God, I can get so fed off of this. If I didn't have the alliances with Andy and the other Stir guy, I think I would be really good. But one thing I've noticed on this update, it feels like some of these like players at the start, they feel like a lot more solid, and I don't know why. Maybe it has to do with like workers and the kind of like noob trap that people think, I'm gonna improve my economy, that people are doing less of that. I don't know. I think there's a lot of factors and various implications. So main game plan is slowly push into North America, but try not to get swarmed, because most of us know with infestation maxing, the whole point of the strategy is you don't ally people. So you steal all the trade and you basically completely strangle global shipping. So 3 warships, that's pretty good. I need to make sure things are calculated. I was kind of waiting, I think, in part to send a boat over because I was worried about someone getting out of warship. With that guy going down, I felt like, you know what, the risk is lower. And now I'm going to just train into that green guy. What is his name? Skrana. Please do not be a terrible word. I mean, the other word I was saying a lot in the other game versus Static Daddy's stream, it was hovno. It means, I think it's like bullshit or like nothing. Just talking about how my destiny is tied to bullshit. So, main worry, don't get swarmed by all these people. I know from watching this back that I wasn't the most aware with stuff, so I guess even with me not commentating while I'm streaming, I think I wasn't, yeah, I think it's just like open front in a lot of ways. Like even watching it back, There's so many freaking things to pay attention to. There's someone from my Discord who left this kind of funny comment of this list of like 10 things of how you instantly die with like push levels, like not paying attention to this, letting an alliance expire. Yeah, I don't even know what to say. There's a lot of stuff. I think the UI could definitely be improved. So I'm just slowly getting out my warship fleet. Looks like I've got like 6 warships, and I'm pretty safe, and I'm strangling a lot of trade. The other things I should be doing is cutting off trade with people around me, just because I don't want them to get up warships. And at this point, I'm being pushed by the stir I123IU thing. This is the thing with all the freaking inputs. Most of that stuff in the bottom right is so useless, but I'm not noticing that. Should be pushing back, because if you look at where my growth is at the other side of the screen, I am not really growing that much. I think I'm focusing too much on the infestation type of stuff, but I'm pretty safe outside of that. I got a lot of troops, and really what I should have been doing is I should have slowed down the push from the red guy, but instead I go for the other dude right next to me. It's an okay choice. It's not the end of the world. Like, I'm gonna get some infrastructure pretty quick, even if I'm losing that city and that factory right there. And that guy can't get over, because I've got too many warships. And really, the game plan is slowly kind of pushing to North America, wear people down, and basically just pick people off while I get my infestation going stronger and stronger and stronger until no one can hopefully do anything. Even with the type of trade that people can get on land, like, I think this is still possible in Open Front, but it just means you're gonna have to be more alert. You're gonna have to deal with more fights. That's also why I'm getting up that SAM launcher, because I see people lobbing in the freaking bombs down there, and I need to have some type of base. I don't think you can really, like, win these games without having, like, a base. Like, maybe on Mars, it could be possible with some of the islands, but who knows? So, we have all this stuff right here. Andy's offering me an alliance. I think I retake the alliance at some point, but again, this is with all the freaking inputs. Like, I'm trying to keep up the warships, gotta keep my pop at a better level. I'm actually pushing way, way, way too hard, and should have already re-allied Andy. For whatever reason, they didn't decide to go for me. You can also see, fun fact, the streamer himself sitting in, like, New York, Quebec. He also has control of some of Mexico and stuff like that. And I'm just gonna keep on rolling with the take out people pragmatically, get out the warships, and slowly kind of expand my fleet to other areas of the map. One of the things I can say with infestation maxing is that you gotta consider about what zones you're weakening. And I don't know, Greenland's such a funny thing. There's so many things to, like, pay attention to in these games. Like, watching Static stream, he's just getting messed up. He's very clearly being targeted. I think, yeah, I think I'm going into that guy in pink. And if I could get that level 4 city, that would be good. I don't think I'm really paying attention to that because I'm more interested in the infestation. You also see that Czech mole guy who has somehow gotten the cat emoji or the cat, like, pattern on his base. I don't really know how that is. And I'm kind of at this point where I'm in this, like, area where there's all these, how would you even describe them? It's like all these people who are super dense. They have really high troop counts, and I don't want to be swarmed. Fortunately, I wasn't swarmed and I didn't ally them, but that's kind of the thing I notice on this balance. There's this kind of, like, new class of player that they kind of just, like, hang out. They build super dense bases with all of their factories, and they're kind of tough to deal with, I think, in some ways, unless you get out bombs to weaken their population, because they're sitting on max cap. They're kind of dangerous in a lot of ways. Like, if they started pushing me, like, that could be really messed up. I don't want to push into 250k. The 150k from, like, the Cho dude's a little bit more manageable, and I think I start doing that a little later. And really what I should be doing with my fleet, I think leaving it there is okay. And the main thing, too, is, like, with the bombs coming in, I start getting more worried about someone wanting to target me, because a lot of people have a lot of gold, and I think if they were more aware, I think they probably would have started messing with me at this point. I think that's kind of a key thing. The flip side is, infestation maxing can happen so quick, and if you don't pay attention to it, it can just be doom, even if you have better economies. So I'm getting up the SAMs because I see the freaking Hydras flying in. I see that Mole guy who is getting tons of troops. He has a ton of gold, and I don't want my base to die in one hit. Ideally, I should have put something on Iceland. The only kind of risk of that is that Iceland can get boated a little bit more easily. My boat coverage isn't perfect, but still spreading out some of my warships. Going to go to the other side of Mexico, just try to cut off a little bit more of the trade lanes. And here comes in more bombs. I'm not sure who they're freaking going for. They're still trying to blow up Static Dotty. If y'all watched this, it was really great when some of the Czech and the Slovak people actually translated some of the other stuff from the videos. I'd be super curious about what he was saying. I don't think he really realized it was me. I don't think anyone would, but I would love to know if they were noticing the infestation maxing type of stuff. So looking over here at Alaska, one good play probably would have been right there because I'm sitting on such high troop count, which again, not good, as like, I feel like when I infestation max, and on some of these maps where there's just like so much, I don't know, there's so much freaking chaos in so many ways, I don't notice things. I probably should have pushed the green guy there because I think that was a good opportunity to try to get a bit more. Likely also worried about the mole dude getting over. I think I was just kind of like looking at Iceland at that point because I need like an early warning Sam to kind of cover my base a little bit more. Because you can see the mole guy, he's got 25 mil. There's other people, if you look on the leaderboard, they got 10 mil. I don't know where the Brankovic dude is, but that could be a worry. And I think I'm starting to consider the Neurohex dude. That's why I'm doing that. Did I do a Cuban missile silo? Or no, that was just a port. That was just a port. Yeah. So, the strategy, I really should have been using my troops. Either on the irradiated land, taking out someone else. I think I'm also thinking about, is there a way to blow up any of these people? Just like clip them a little bit. Even probably an atom bomb could be helpful, but their bases are just so dense. They got so many freaking troops that it's really kind of tough. So I'm samming my base, making it more defensible, putting out more warships, and we do have the big problem of the mole guy. I don't know if other people really realized. I mean, they got to realize at this point how freaking bad it is that I'm stealing a ton of freaking trade. Like you see in the bottom right, all the trade is being captured. And the thing with infestation maxing and its different variants, I think you really got to consider what areas of the map are you weakening. So I could make like different calls of like the Delirix guy on the other side and kind of like that Eastern Russia. Trading with him can be okay, even though, you know, I don't really have that many ports. I don't want to trade with people that it potentially strengthens them. And given I'm being pushed by this one dude, I gotta start thinking about how I take him out. So, I think pretty soon I'm going to get up a missile silo. Well, I don't know if I do get up a missile silo. Yeah. I am doing that. This is, I am remembering right. I get up a double right there. Because I need to knock down the Neurohex guy a little bit. And I'm also thinking about if I can harm that crown. But his base, as we're going to see later, it is ridiculous. There's so many freaking SAMs. He's got such a ridiculous amount of troops that it's kind of like off the chart. So I really need to be pushing back against the Neurohex dude. Well, not that crucial. If he pushed me harder, it'd be a bigger deal, but he's clearly a problem. So I'm going to wait up for a Hydra right there, and that's the target I'm going for in type of, is that French Guiana, basically northeastern Brazil? Because from my understanding, I got to do a test at some point. These Hydras do percentage damage to your population. So if you're a really small territory and you get hit by a Hydro, that, from my understanding of how the game works, is why you lose like massive portions of your population. I decided to keep an alliance with that other dude, which we could talk about pros, cons with that. Like, I get less trade, some more trade gets through, I get a friend. I think I was just thinking like, you know, an open front pushing on two fronts is generally a bad idea. So given I'm already fighting the Neurohex dude, might as well table the other stuff for later. And I also probably could betray him if I would want to, but you'll see what happens with that. So the Neurohex guy, he's offering me alliance. Not going to take that because I just got to keep on infesting, keep on pushing my way down, make sure that I don't get into a ground war with the mole guy. And he's probably thinking about his type of fronts in basically Asia, Europe, Russia, because he still has to deal with some people, but if you look at his pop, it's actually like crazy. It's a 3 mil. So at this point, decide to knock down one of these other guys, get their delicious infrastructure for myself, and keep up with the infestation play, which it's going like really well. Like I got stuff in the Mediterranean, I got stuff in the Indian Ocean. I don't know what percentage of global trade I've taken out, but it's a damn lot. So now I'm going to clean up this last dude in Alaska there, which will help me kind of solidify my position in North America. And a lot of my money has very clearly gone into warships, and that's why I'm not really on the same level as the Crown with his, like, millions of freaking troops. So I just want to cut off everything and slowly work my way down. And eventually, when trade's pretty much completely cut off, and I have enough SAMs to protect my base from the kind of residual income that comes from the Train Alliance stuff, then I just go and weaken whoever's the strongest. That was the game plan. That was the call. You can see Neurohex that he retook some of the irradiated land, so I think I'm just going to bomb him one more time. Primarily because it's just going to make my push easier. And bombing him in the middle of his base, it's kind of tricky with that SAM arrangement. But still, getting out more warships. Answer's always more warships. Whenever I get up for a Hydro, I can do a lot of pop damage to him and just make this push even a bit more easy. At this point with him, setting up defense posts is a good idea, but he probably needs to be, like, striking back. But then again, I don't even know how much gold he has. Trying to get warships in every part of the map, just completely control trade. And actually, do I even decide to go for the other bomb? Looks like I don't, but want to make sure no one can get across. And the other thing that's kind of key with this is I need to spread out my warships, because a couple of Hydros could clear, like, ridiculous amounts of warships. Like, if you look off the coast of Spain, that looks like it could be really, really messed up. So making sure different things are spread out is definitely important. And there are clearly counters to this. Like, people are sitting on, like, 7 Hydros, which, if you have a few distractor bombs, you can be pretty good. Looks like I actually didn't decide to Hydra the guy in South America. There we go, clicking on Starakdari. I don't know. That might have been the last of them. Not sure if I totally got him. Want to protect that cluster by putting some SAMs in front of that. Not sure about all the positioning, but I'm trying to just work quickly. Keep up the expansion of this, because I know, like, looking at the map, there's so much freaking gold on it. I'm going to be bombed. Like, it's just a question of time until I am bombed. Still, same game plan. Don't let anyone across. Pick people off and keep on expanding. For whatever reason, I decided to keep my friend, which, in retrospect, I don't know if that was a good idea. Like, yeah, I actually think, like, if I was to play this back, I probably would have betrayed the guy who I was friends with there. We now see a Merve going off. I'm, like, completely tunneling on my type of thing. And, there goes down a bunch of the crown. But you know what's so ridiculous about this? Look at how much pop he still has. I don't know if he's doing this weird exploiter strategy, which maybe or maybe not, I'll show you in some vid. But he has a crazy amount of population. And I think some of that has to do with his SAMnet. Like, he has, from my understanding, a lot of SAMs. I don't know if we're going to hover over him in 1 second and actually see how many SAMs he has. I'm still concerned about him getting over. And that's got to be kind of my #1 priority right now. I would ideally like to get, like, some boats in some different parts of the map just to be, like, just so I have some better options if I do want to push him. Because, yeah, I eventually, at the end of all these games, you do have to use troops. And you look at his troop count, he's at 3 million troops after all this. It's kind of ridiculous. So, with where the game's at, I'm starting to think, you know, I'm going to go run down and try to take out the green dude. Going to do some population damage. So, a big bomb on Australia, that should clip him out a little bit. Just want to keep on doing stuff. You see me putting up that missile silo right there in Antarctica. And the guy goes down again. And at this point, this is kind of, I can't remember if this is really the moment where I try to take him out. He's still got, like, such an insane amount of troops. He's got 1.3 mil troops, 1.4 mil troops after all of that, which is kind of crazy. So I guess I started pushing him because I thought, you know what, maybe I could take him out. After a Merve, I would expect better, but looks like it's not really doing anything. So I'm kind of doing something that's not great and starting a multi-front war. And am I even... Yeah, I was trying to bomb him to see if this would do, like, some population damage, looking for part of his base that's, like, not as well defended. I think that... Oh, that does get through. But, yeah, it's kind of like... It's kind of an issue because I'm not focusing on one thing at a time. So, given the Cuba guy is now going for me, I'm going to try to bomb him and get him out of the game. And the Mole guy... I mean, he clearly is the biggest threat. It's still kind of the same procedure, pick people off. The mole guy could Merve me, and we'll see what happens with that in a second. I don't really know, like, what his thought process was. I mean, the only thing we'd really have is Static Dottie's thought process, unless you were one of the people who played in this game. So I'm going to continue going for the green dude. One problem with what I've done is that I have kind of knocked a little bit of a radiant land between me and him, but I can just boat through that. So it still can work. And I think here I was like looking at his base trying to see, is there anywhere I could hydro him? And I think I gave up because his base was just so freaking crazy, like crazily well defended. At one point, we're going to see how much he really has in there that I don't think I can go clip him out with hydros, even if they are more effective. So I got enough for Merve now, which in retrospect, how I was playing this, I think this is the kind of point where I decide this is my moment. I'm going to Merve him. I'm going to steal his entire base, and I'm going to win the game. I thought this was a great read. I'm going to be counter-Merved, but whatever. I'm going to steal so much of his base, I'm going to be good. He has 1 million left. I don't know if this is bugged. I don't know if it just has to do he has so many SAMs that the Merve did so little damage, but I don't do hardly anything to this. Like, I steal a little bit of it. You can see he's on 158 cities, so that probably explains it. And now it's kind of disaster mode because my base is no longer as affected or as protected. I'm being attacked by like 6 people. Andy's attacking me and stealing stuff, and it just looks like doom. But the kind of key thing in these positions, even though I was definitely worried playing this, it's be calm. You need to sit back and get up better population. I think I did some pushbacks that probably weren't as good. So I'm thinking with my kind of population where it's at, I need to get up troops so I can stall and stop these other people. I don't have a land battle with the crazy crown with ridiculous stuff. I just need to stall a little bit. So right here with Andy, just want to do some pop damage to him. Want to slow down his push and make it so that he can't steal my entire base with all that he's got. Because he is actually kind of on the brink of getting like really, really set up. So I get up to around 50% population, and I think I push back here. And in retrospect, one of the things I would have done with Andy, if you go look at his base, up in some of those kind of Canadian islands, he's got a 22 city stack, and I really should have been pushing on that. But while I was playing, I was definitely worried. I was thinking, oh my god, I screwed this up so bad because everyone's going after me. Cuba's not really that big a deal because he's not going to steal that much infrastructure if he takes all that part of Antarctica, whatever. That other green guy, I probably should have looked at how much he had into me. Looking down, he only has 4k into me. I should have pushed back on that. I was just really thinking in this moment, I really, really got to conserve my troops. If I panic and I send out too much stuff, I'm going to be cooked. So with Andy, I'm just trying to put in bombs that do pop damage and not blow up the infrastructure because I kind of want the infrastructure. With Cuba down in Antarctica, just trying to delay things, not worry too much about it. Like I said, I should have gone for the 24 city stack. If I boat up on that one island and get the 24 city stack, I should just be good. There's a bit of a mess up with a hydrogen bomb. Icho's now a little bit more of a problem. And really, I should be using my kind of gold quicker, but I'm also just trying to like not make super rash decisions. I think in these positions, and that's a risky play, but I need pop, and I'm just kind of hoping people don't bomb it. Like in these games, I find like, I don't know, it's kind of tough when the whole map's in like pieces. Like I can't let this guy get over. I'm losing in Antarctica that I really can't do anything about. Defense posting that is good. And this guy is probably the biggest threat to kind of my immediate future right now. So I think I'm finally recognizing I need to go for the 24 city stack. I also realize how low population the Icho guy is, or how low land. So just one little push on him, unfortunately blowing up a bunch of the infrastructure, will totally clip out that threat. So I'm a little more stabilized now. Mole can't get across super easily. Like, there are some routes, and there are definitely things he should have done. Like, I could tell you what are the ways to counter this, but I think a lot of people can think. You got to blow up the boats. You got to make it into a land fight. You can't just, like, leave stuff like this. So with Andy, he keeps on recovering from these bombs just because he has that big of a city stack. So, crisis averted for the most part. I've been able to take out this. This is why I'm saying I should have gotten rid of Andy first. But the problem was I thought I had a win on the Mole guy. I thought the Merve would kill all his pop. I steal all his base, I get counter-merved, some other people try to push me, and it just won't be enough. But too good of Sam stuff, maybe he used this weird exploit. I'm now stabilized. And really kind of order of operations here and kind of priorities, I see those Hydras coming across from Mole. And I'm now thinking, you know what? He's going to try to cross there. So I need to get up a port, get out some more boats. Ideally, I do try to push back and try to fight back and destroy some of these missile silos, but I'd probably need to get up a better cluster of silos, likely in Greenland, to degrade some of his missile capacity. And am I actually going to do that? No, I'm actually getting up more SAMs to protect that stack right there. And getting up warships, kind of control all these areas so the Cuba guy can't get across. And they're pretty much out of gold. It actually looks okay. Even though I think a lot of people would say, oh my god, this is totally doomed. And I think this is the anticlimactic kind of end of the video. I think people got bored because, I don't know, they just assumed the Mole guy had won. But the problem is, he doesn't really have that much sustain. He's going to get a trickle of gold. Like, I think they thought, it's like, there's nothing else to do. That also somehow got taken. So, Static from watching back his stream, he just kind of left. You see the Cuba guy left too. So unfortunately, we didn't get to see the end of this with maybe more concentrated like fire if this is viable. I can say overall, I think infestation maxing, it can work. It's going to be tougher. So the rest of this video, I might speed up certain parts of it. All I'm really doing is just like thinking about what do I do to kind of finish off the game, get up enough for a Merve, maybe try to do some Hydras to knock down Pop. This was an interesting game. I can tell you, I did end up getting it, even with the asterisk. I think in retrospect, I think I could have managed this. Even with a lot of bombs, well coordinated, I think I had enough resources to resist, and I had enough trade that I generally should have been all right. I mean, we can talk about kind of flip sides of like the Mole guy does have some resources and stuff. So with that, if you enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if you like these kind of post-commentary things. I know there's some downsides to them, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.